problem 5. Problem 5 reads, in a production possibilities frontier diagram, economic growth is shown as... So, first we have to draw a PPF diagram, which is one of the easiest diagrams. It's literally just, it's going to be between two different goods, and this curve represents the production's possibilities frontier. So pretty much what this represents is any point on this line is the maximum production of a combination of both goods. So any point within this frontier is attainable, but it's inefficient, because any point within this frontier means that you could produce more of both goods or either good and come out with more total goods. Any point on the frontier is the maximum production of a combination of any of those 2 points. So it can either be 10 gumballs and 0 machines, it can be 10 machines and 0 gumballs, or it can be 5 and 5. Yeah, I don't know if those match, but you get the point. Now the question wants to know that what represents economic growth? What shift or what can go on this graph that's going to represent economic growth? So let's go through the questions, the answers. A says a movement from one point on the PPF to another. So if we go from this point, which is 5 machines and 5 gumballs, to 10 gumballs and 0 machines, that's not really economic growth. That's just allocating your resources differently to be able to produce a different quantity of the combination of goods. So it's not necessarily economic growth, it's just retooling. It's allocating your resources differently. It's the same amount of economic production. B says an outward shift in the PPF. So if the PPF were to shift outward, is that economic growth? Ultimately, that is the answer. Because if we have an outward shift in the PPF, that means that the new attainable points are increase. We can go from 10 gumballs and 0 machines to 12 gumballs and 0 machines, or 12 machines and 0 gumballs, or 6 and 6. So whenever the PPF shifts outward, that means that you're either because of increased technology or for several other reasons given during lecture, when the PPF shifts outward, it means that the economy has grown. Just to clarify the other answer choices, C says an inward shift of the PPF. If the PPF were to shift inward, that means your economy is shrinking. You've either lost the ability to produce as much for a number of reasons, but when the PPF shifts inward, that means you've lost the ability to even attain these points. So you've lost efficiency, you've lost your ability to produce as many goods. And D says the curvature of the PPF. The curvature of the PPF really doesn't affect doesn't indicate economic growth, because your PPF could be like this, and it doesn't necessarily indicate by itself economic growth. If it were to shift out like that, then that shift itself is what represents the growth. The curvature in and of itself, it might speak to the amount of technology you have. Maybe you can produce a high number of machines and a low number of gumballs for some reason, because you have more technology geared towards producing machines. So you need, for economic growth to be indicated by the graph, you need to see that shift outward. So the correct answer is